start now.
One of the items I have on land use is a project for 973 Mission Street Fruit School. I introduced it last month, and I have a contact from the head of the school about the school. I am trying to get a hold of the people from the architects and the headmaster, and it's proving extremely difficult, so I'm still working on that one. I did 3 emails with Dennis's help. One was to support a hearing for a restaurant, Little Caesars, up on Fillmore Street, and I don't know the outcome, but we did support that project. Another email I did was to support the theater up at 1950 Mission Street, which is very important. I also supported a building application for 1950 Mission, which has been the site of the Navigation Center, and they're proposing there to build 2 mixed-use buildings, one 5 stories, one 9 stories, with 157 below market rate housing units. The project sponsor is Bridge Housing. They do very good for building below market rate housing. They are providing 1,137 gross square feet of art studio space, 6,986 gross square feet of childcare, institutional and community use space, and 2,517 gross square feet of retail space. This project is an extremely interesting project. It has several key parts which I mentioned in my email. One, on the roof of the back building, it has a roof garden for the tenants, the entire roof of the building. And that's the Weiss building on Weiss Street. And they also have a play area in there, so if the adults are gardening, their children can play in a play area and be safe. They also have an interior courtyard playground for the children, so they can play off without being near the street in safety. They also have an adult area for grown-ups to hang out in outside between the 2 buildings and make it equally safe. And their Mission Street building is solar powered according to their diagram. But this is a very important building. There's 3 art studios proposed, a community room, a very large child care, and other facilities. And there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom units. So we're very proud to support that project. I also sent an email to a new building which is proposed for 10 South Van Ness, which is a Honda dealership. We haven't been able to access my email, so I don't know if they emailed me back, but I asked them to call me, and they have not responded to my phone call request.
You have no idea what the 10 South Van Ness one is about?
It's 2 40-story towers.
No.
The current design plan for that area, from Fell Street to Mission Street, along Van Ness and South Van Ness, there'll be 8 to 9 30 or 40-story towers just in that area. There's one on Cage and Market, one on Oak and Market. What was going to be, it's in here, but I'm going to read in a minute. The project that was proposed as an office building at 100 Van Ness, which is Market, which is the Hayes and Van Ness, has been changed to 399 residential units, and that's a nearly 40-story tower. And they've asked to be their date to be extended 1 year. This is something else I've discovered. There's a shortage of construction companies in San Francisco. Everybody is maxed out on working. So a large number of people are asking for extensions because it's just... So also on the June 6th, or July 6th hearing, 100 Van Ness was heard on July 6th. There was a hearing to demolish an existing 2-story automotive repair shop and build another 7-story building with 11 residential units. I've made several comments to planners that if we keep tearing down automotive businesses, gas stations, car washes, and repair facilities, the over 1,000 cars they've added to South of Market are going to have mechanical problems. There's also coming up on this Wednesday, next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, at the Planning Department, in front of the Historic Preservation Commission, 200 Larkin Street, which is the Asian Art Museum, is proposing to build a 1-story vertical addition, approximately 13,000 square feet, with programmed roof terrace at the eastern boundary of the lot on fronting Hyde Street, and will also build a new freight elevator and loading area upgrades at the rear of the building. The building was designed and built in 1916 as the main library and converted later to the Asian Art Museum, and is a contributing resource to the Civic Center Landmark District, which was designated in 1994. On Thursday the 20th, there's a hearing for a San Francisco Art Institute institutional master plan for 630 Gary Street, which is a hotel for post-secondary educational and medical services. Also for them is on the same hearing, that's 630 Gary, also is 333 12th Street and 717 Sutter Street. Then at 342 to 360 5th Street, there's a large project authorization in front of the Planning Commission for an 8-story, 141,608 square foot mixed-use development with 1,320 square feet of ground floor commercial, 8,011 square feet of partially underground light industrial, what they call PDR, which is production, distribution, and repair, 123,247 square feet of residential out of 127 dwelling units. The project also proposes 10,321 square feet of private and common residential open space and 18,361 square feet basement level garage for 35 automobiles, 2 car shares, 2 loading spaces, and 52 of the 110 Class 1 bicycle spaces for their site. Also on July 20th is 458 Grove Street, which is conditional use authorization to establish a back patio at the Burba restaurant and expand the use of the restaurant by 216 square feet into a garage of an existing building. At 1522 Bush Street, there's a proposal also for July 20th to establish a health service use on the 2nd floor of the subject building under Planning Code Section 209.3. Planned Parenthood of Northern California is proposing to convert a 2-story building from automotive use to health services use, which requires an additional use. Then a project that I have set up time with Dennis to do a request for continuation until August 10th. There's a hearing for 999 Folsom, which is on the August calendar for this meeting as a presentation, which is another large development. And then on July 27th, 925 Market Street is proposing to change the use of 2,400 square feet of retail on the 1st floor mezzanine and 2nd floor to general office use. Also on the 27th is 980 Folsom, another large project which will demolish a single-story automotive paint and repair building, another one of those complaints I put in, and constructing an 8-story, 80-foot-high mixed-use building with 33 dwelling units, 951 square feet, ground floor commercial space, 14 parking spaces, 34 Class 1 bicycle and 4 Class 2 bicycle spaces. They're asking for a rear yard variance, dwelling unit exposure variance, ground floor active use variance, off-street parking variance, and this has to be in a conjunction hearing between the Planning Commission and the Rec and Park Commission because of the location next to the park on Folsom. Then also on the 27th at 975 Bryant Street is a proposal to demolish a 32,400 square foot industrial building currently used as retail and construct a 4-story over basement 185 unit residential building with basement parking consisting of 135 autos and 123 Class 1 and 16 Class 2 bicycles. The total space will be 220,245 gross square feet, with 169,160 of that residential, 2,990 square feet ground floor retail, and 51,000 square feet below grade parking. They're also proposing 2,969 a publicly accessible open space on Kate Street. They're going to put an out like a parkway in on Kate to pass between the building and have entrances on Kate, so which is good for the public because it's open to the public. And 1,440 square feet of private open space and 10,985 square feet of common open space in courtyards and the roof deck. And they're asking for exception to rear yard because of their configuration of their yard and open space combination. That's just 2 weeks.
This is painful.
At the Board of Supervisors, the Land Use Committee, they're having a ordinance amending the Transportation Urban Design Plan of the city's general plan to institute, implement the city's Vision Zero policy of the Transportation Authority within the city, which, as I understand it, is where pedestrians are #1 priority and no longer cars, which sounds good.
It sounds good.
That's on Monday, July 17th at 1:30 in Chambers. Also at that hearing is an ordinance from the Public Works Code to update provisions in street encroachment permits, appeals procedures, and the fees for doing appeals, right-of-way occupancy assessment fee in lieu of waiver of permit payment for certain types of permits. Then I have a building permit application for 112 Howard Street. This is going to change a vacant institutional use, which is a metal fabrication shop, which was part of a school program, and changing it into a child care facility, which is needed in that area with all the building of housing down there.
Bedroom community.
This one I'm not sure if I'm supporting or not directly, but I think I am because we need the child care. Then I have another building permit application for 2610 Mission Street at 22nd Street for change of use and vertical addition. What they want to do here is propose to construct a 4-story vertical addition to an existing 12,000 square foot commercial building, resulting in a 5-story mixed-use building, which will result in 8 residential dwelling units, 985 square feet of open space, with ground floor commercial of 8,047 square feet. And the change of use requested is changing from retail sales and service to institution and non-retail sales and service with residents above it. I have one which I don't usually do at these meetings, but I think it's important. There's a pre-application meeting for 1450 Howard Street, which is a proposal to build a 6-story building. And if memory serves me right, that's somewhere down by the mental health office building. So that's why I brought that up. And there's also, the meeting date is the 24th at 6 o'clock at 1450 Howard. There's also a proposal by the University of San Francisco to alter the War Memorial Gymnasium building moving the entranceway to the north side, changing the seating arrangement, moving the entrance from the north side to the west side, reconfiguring the inside of the building, reducing the seating in the arena by 650 seats, and changing the north entrance to a emergency exit only. Then I also have a notice from the Mayor's Office of Housing under Title 24, Part 58 of the Code of Federal Regulations to undertake a programmable agreement by the City and County of San Francisco, the California State Historical Preservation, the Advisory Council on Historic Preservation regarding historic properties affected by use of revenue from the Housing and Urban Development. The proposed project would develop parcel APN 8711020, which doesn't tell me a thing, with a residential building that will have a maximum of 135 dwelling units and 135 parking spaces. The building would consist of a maximum of 4 floors and a height not to exceed 65 feet. The project would take approximately 24 months to complete. And in case you want to look at it, I have a map. It's where it is. I also have a letter from the French American International School, which has purchased a site at 150 Oak Street, and they are planning to, our current plan is to demolish the existing building and construct a temporary street-level playing field for use by our physical education classes, after-school programs, and athletics department. We have so far worked with the planning department for their design. Their meeting is July 20th, 6 o'clock at the French American International School, International High School, 150 Oak Street. And projects receiving environmental review, which I have only called for documents on, I have item number 2016-011827 E and D for 1500 15th Street, which will demolish a building, construct an 8-story, approximately 62,085 gross square foot residential building with approximately 1,320 square feet of retail, 184 units of organized as group housing with shared kitchens, bathrooms, and lounge space on each floor, approximately 4,436 square feet of rooftop open space, providing courtyards with exercise equipment and sun deck lounge for residents. Each unit would be 198 square feet in size. They're sleeping units only. The project is seeking a 35% density bonus up to the maximum of 2 additional stories in exchange for the project providing 15% of the total units as low income and 10% of the total units as moderate income under state density bonus law. Proposed building would be 8 stories with underground basement, approximately 75 feet tall. The project would not provide vehicle parking, but will provide 36 bicycle parking spaces located on a bicycle storage in the basement level. And I have another project receiving environmental review 2016-00.
Were those full units, those 198 square foot units?
They're sleeping units.
Just sleeping
That,
units.
like, does that mean it's like no bathroom, no kitchen?
No, they share bathroom, they share the kitchen, and they share the lounge space. This is like group housing. This is a group housing facility.
And they get a state bonus, like for density.
And they get a bonus.
And no kitchen?
There is shared kitchens on each floor.
Yeah.
Like an SRO.
It's
Yeah.
SRO.
Pretty much.
Similar to,
Rich people.
but they don't consider it SRO because it's group housing. It's under the group housing
How
code.
much is the rent?
And because they can charge more money.
This is just starting out on environmental review. Another project 2016-001738 E&V 1144-1150 Harrison. This project would demolish the majority of an existing masonry building in the Western Soma Light Industrial Residential Historic District and construct a 6 to 7 story 430,000 gross square foot mixed-use building containing 336,226 square feet of residential units, 372 of them, 6,833 square feet of flex space, which are 6 units consisting of commercial and accessory residential uses, 15,753 square feet of amenities and leasing space, 72,495 square feet of garage space. Proposed dwelling units would range in size from 540 square feet to 1,092 square feet and would include 129 studios, 92 one-bedrooms, 147 two-bedrooms, and 4 three-bedrooms. Approximately 29,838 square feet of public and private open space would be provided with private decks, south and east public courtyards, and a 30-foot wide mid-block passage on Harrison to Hallahan Street, and private decks and public roofs decks on the 6th floor. I have a notice of a project receiving environmental review and preparation of environmental report, which I have called for the report for 1033 Polk Street. The project description is it's a 2,200 square foot project site located on the northwest corner of Polk and Cedar, which is between Geary and Post, and is within the downtown Civic Center neighborhood and is generally characterized by residential, retail, and commercial. The current site is occupied by a 2-story building, which is vacant but formerly contained offices, retail, and residential uses. The 1033 Polk Street building is eligible for listing in the California Register of Historic Places and is therefore considered a historic resource. The project sponsor, LC Development Corporation, proposes to demolish the existing building and construct a mixed-use building with ground floor retail and frontages on Polk and Cedar and residential space above. Proposed building would be 8 stories tall, reaching 85 feet in height, 98 feet with parapet and rooftop equipment. The ground floor would contain 445 gross square feet of retail space and would include a total of 19 residential units, with 18 of them being 1 bedroom and 1 being 2 bedroom on the 2nd to 8th floor. The project is proposing no off-street parking. However, 19 Class 1 spaces are being provided on the ground floor of the building with access to through the residential lobby. 2 Class 2 spaces will be provided on the curb. Streetscape and improvements include minor reconstruction of sidewalks along project frontages and removal of existing curb cut on Cedar Street frontage. 3 existing street trees on Polk Street frontage would be retained.